For me, breaking the bias starts with understanding the bias and helping everybody understand that biases do exist and giving them the tools to overcome those biases.
I'll work to break the bias by first talking about it, being able to have that discussion with my team, with the staff around bias, and recognizing that there is some differences in terms of how people view the work environment, I think is one of the very first steps and most important.
I've been very fortunate to work with great people. They always give me the opportunity to provide my perspective and my views. I want to do the same to other women, to provide them support and opportunity to voice their opinion.
The theme, choosing to challenge, really resonates with me. We've all chosen to work on semiconductors, one of the most challenging industries on the planet. But here at Marvell, we're fortunate to have incredible women leading us through so many of these challenges.
One of the ways I will personally work to break bias is I will continue to raise awareness where I see and even personally experience inequalities or biases within the organization.
When I was early on in my career, we were working on this big deal, and the woman partner I was with, there was a really contentious part of this deal, and she had to swear and yell at the other side. And afterwards, she took me aside and said, "Hey, I'm really sorry I had to do that, because if I didn't, the men wouldn't respect me." And that was one of the first examples where I saw the added challenges that women had because of the biases against them.
I want to take time to make sure that my decisions are not influenced by unconscious biases.
In engineering school today, typically around 20-something% of the students are female. We really need to drastically improve that. And it's really going to be both a short-term and a long-term commitment within Marvell and across the society.
Leadership training begins at a very young age. So I learned a lot during those years. And we need to do the same for the Marvell female employees.
I grew up in a household where my mother was a medical technologist. My sister was a very successful structural engineer. My wife was a very accomplished electrical engineer, and I have 2 daughters. All I've done in my life is make sure that the women around me have the same opportunities as anybody else, that they can execute to their potential. I always carry that to work as well.
Today is also a day that we should remember that the bias and inequality still exist. And I think it's very important for all of us to work together as a team to point out those inequalities and address them proactively. It's the only way that we can move forward and break the bias.